Hi, everybody. It is Monday night, Sketchy Live.
Sketchy Live Monday. What is up? How's it going? We're so
We
glad you're
are
here.
doing great.
Are we?
Yes, we have a lot to talk about tonight. We hit a pretty iconic little cruise-in parade car show thing in our area. Something that we've been wanting to do for a while, that we've taken the other cars to. We finally got Rose up to Old Town in Kissimmee, Florida. So we're going to talk about that tonight. What else?
Oh, I am I a part of this?
Sure.
Much more. So hang in. We'll see you in a few.
Be right back.
Well, it's 9:30. Sketchy Live
Yes.
Monday time, as ity-b alluded to in the front side. Yeah, we went to a pretty fun place. We hadn't been, I think, 8 years. I want to say it probably been about that long.
No, we because we did take Kona up there prior to her transformation.
Oh, true.
Um,
when was that?
It had to have been in the last 5 years at least. So
because we did take her up there.
we'd have to look it
We
up.
stayed in we went to downtown Disney.
Mm-hmm.
And then we hit that and on the same night. No, maybe the next night.
I'm gonna look it up and I'll
We
be able
did
to
like
tell
a
you.
thing where we did like a 2-day deal where we were up there. Oh no, you know what? We went up on a Friday.
Mhm.
We hit downtown Disney on a Friday night and then got up early, or not got up early, got up normal, went to breakfast, I think in downtown Disney, and then we headed down towards Old Town because we had to unload the car and all that kind of stuff off the little tow dolly we had done.
I was trying to see if I had something with Kona and I do not.
It's got to be on Facebook.
Yeah,
somewhere.
I'll have to find it. But it's been a bit since we've been up there.
It had been a little while, and even the Kona thing, that went off without a hitch, but it was a rainy day that day when we went.
Was it?
I want to say it was rainy.
Well,
like
I remember
the day before it wasn't, but then
we towed
started raining.
We towed that vehicle up as well, but you had just the tow dolly. So it was just the front tires.
Like that makes a difference.
Well, it does.
Towed.
Well, it does because
Okay.
I'm sure it handled a little different than the full trailer.
Well,
so we did have to rent a trailer for Rose.
Mm-hmm.
So she was not being pulled at all. She was on the trailer, which was good. Because I get nervous when I see other people towing stuff and I can see it fishtailing a little bit. I feel like the full trailer with the car on it is probably a little bit more safe. I don't know. What do you guys think? You don't think either way?
Safe? It's not any more safer.
You don't think so?
No, you don't have. I wasn't relying on the rear running gear shit of the Model A flying down the freeway at 50, 60 miles an hour.
Yeah, we weren't going too fast.
It's not really made to go that fast. So, I didn't think a tow dolly was going to be a smart idea. And it was like $10 more for.
Yeah. I don't know. I felt better about the full trailer. So.
And really, I would have done the full trailer with Kona. I think after I had done the tow dolly, I'm like, why not just do the full trailer? Because it's so much easier.
Yeah.
So much easier.
Well, I still get nervous, and I got nervous. I get nervous all the time with loading on and off the trailer.
Let's talk about that. So
yeah,
ity-b does get nervous in the loading and unloading of passengers only. All loading in the red zone. Loading is only available in the yellow zone.
So I remember cringing. When we went up to Michigan for our first, was it Frankenmuth?
No, yes. No. Well, that was the first trailer thing you had to worry about.
Right. And I mean, we weren't on a trailer, obviously, but
No.
our buddy Scott had his Dodge, his 50, is it a 50 Dodge or 51?
51, I think.
51 Dodge that he had completely redone.
Repainted. And
beautiful. You guys have heard about it, I'm sure. And here
it was
he
just
is
out of the paint booth.
And he's loading it on this trailer.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't even have the right skids. What do you call them? The ramps for him to get up. Yeah. His wife was the one navigating him. And I'm like, how are you doing this and not freaking out? And I think silently she was, but she's like, we've done this so many times that it's no big deal.
So again, what is it that you're freaking out about?
I have seen in the past vehicles, and maybe they weren't vehicles. They were probably like ATVs and like lawnmowers and stuff like that. I've seen them come off the ramps
like
and
motorcycle fails where the guy's loading one motorcycle with one ramp
in
a big lifted truck and then it goes off the side.
No, I'm talking in-person stuff, like family members and stuff trying to load.
Who have you trailered with?
I don't know. Maybe my dad. I don't know. I don't remember who it was, but I remember seeing
that you would have been involved in.
I wasn't involved. I was watching.
Right. So that's what I'm trying to figure out.
I was watching and I was like, oh my God, how are you? You can't see. You're just hoping that the ramps are big. Like, why don't they make the ramps wider? Why don't they make one giant ramp that slides down that you can slide in?
The ramp are wider. And that was the issue we were having with Rose is that they're wide. So Rose's track is narrow. So that's why I needed your assistance to make sure that, the front tires stayed on the ramps.
All I kept thinking was if this thing comes off the ramp, it's going to be me that you're mad at for not navigating you the correct way.
Well, and again,
there was just so much pressure on me.
I will take some responsibility that I assumed
that I would be normal about it.
You would be okay about it. And also that you, again, I assumed I should have shown you, like, here's what I need you to pay attention to. And here are the hand signals I need you to give me.
Yeah, I'm not good with the hand signals.
And here's where I need you to stand. And here's what I need to know as I'm pulling the car up into the trailer.
An A to Z tutorial would have been great before you were just like, hey.
I was just like, I need your help. Get in the front of the trailer and let me know if I'm lined up.
How am I letting you know?
And then, of course, I got... and I'm like, what does that mean?
And she's loud. She's a little loud, not super
loud at all.
But while you're in it, like, I didn't know if you could hear me. So I'm yelling, you're loud.
You were doing the ity-b yell. Hey, your water goes.
So this is how it started super early in the morning before we even left. Because I'm like, I was not prepared. I thought I was going to go out there and we were just going to be ready to go. So that was not the case.
You needed your assistance.
Yeah. I needed to.
So, anyways, you had a little bit of trailer trouble.
Little anxiety.
Who's on the broadcast? And let's get back to this trailer thing because this is really interesting.
It is.
And I learned something from this that I got to stop assuming
that I know what I'm doing.
Not so much that you know what you're doing. That like I'm like, hey, we'll just do this, and you'll be like, yeah, hey, we're just going to do this.
In a lot of regards, I'm one of the guys.
And everything else that we've ever jumped in projects and things, you generally think you pretty much seem to know what you're doing.
When it comes to this, I'd rather
quote in there.
I would rather stay to the side. We've got Frank Pupello joining us. It's time, everyone. Time for Sketchy Live. Cheese and crackers for everyone. Oh, that does sound fantastic, Frank. Love it. Rob Earl joining us. Sweet. Hey there, ity-b and Johnny from the Hunter Valley, Australia on a hot summer day.
Friend?
Rob actually messaged me this morning through Messenger and sent me some pictures of sunrise over in Australia. It was gorgeous.
That guy's messaging my wife?
Yep. He knows I love the pics.
All right, buddy.
Lizzie Daughtry's joining us. Hello, everyone. And she's giving us her Ms. Butterfree 34 YouTube channel. Go check it out.
Rock on.
Dan Evans joining us, our good buddy from Dunedin. Dan and Mary Evans. Good evening. Love you guys. Michael Schnell. Hi, gang from Newport Richie, our neighbor. Lizzie said, I gave a thumbs up on your channel. We appreciate the likes and loves over there.
For sure.
Shares, views, whatever you got. We'll take it.
Whatever you got. We'll take the likes, the comments, the subscribes, and the shares.
We've got Chongo NorCal.
We'll take some shares.
resident comedian in the house. I'm in the house. Well, I'm in your house via video. How are you all doing?
Hey, we're in your house.
We are great, sir. Thank you for checking in. Howard Pierpont, our buddy Howard.
What's up?
Love this guy. I'm just
4 inches.
co-authored with a couple other people another book. This guy
Nice.
is an author of several books on being your best self
Yeah.
and business and in life and
Always
just tips and tricks for being
always
successful.
Very, very jack of all trades.
Super supportive. We've had him on the
Super,
broadcast.
Lots of knowledge. If you get a chance, go back to the YouTube.
Yes.
Check it out. Howard Pierpont
Twice.
Double special and twice in the as a guest.
Yes. So we love you. 66 degrees with spotty showers in Mineola, Texas tonight.
It's 4 inches of snow, it says. Oh, that's Jim Pollan.
Spud Anderson joining us from the Pacific Northwest. Welcome, sir. We've got Joe Lombardo, ho from Jersey, guy. Welcome, sir. George Bennett, hello from Milo, Michigan, and Hot Rods Motorcycle Awareness and Suicide Prevention Foundation.
What up, friends?
George, we appreciate you tuning in every week.
Yep.
Richard Hahn from Alpena, Michigan.
From the Peen.
Welcome to the broadcast.
That's my favorite place.
I know. Ralph, well, that and Manahawkin.
But the Peen.
The Peen.
And the P and Dub.
Yep, P and Dubs. Ralph Pop Sanchez, a nice 71 degrees in San Antonio, Texas. Howdy, y'all.
Howdy.
That sounds mild and lovely.
71.
We've got our buddy Gary Miller stopping by to say hi. Merry Christmas.
Rock and roll,
Happy
pal.
New Year. He said, I'm on the road, but I'm always trying my best to watch you both.
Hey,
Y'all are the best.
Keep a drumming and slapping them.
I can't wait to go to one of their shows. I am hoping that we
From the little clips he sent me, this Uncle Ted thing is pretty rocking.
We need to hire somebody who
I would love
makes
to hear,
us a schedule.
I want to hear some Stranglehold and
Stranglehold?
stuff. Yes. Ted Nugent.
Oh, I thought it was Strangehold. It's a Stranglehold. I was missing the L.
Strangehold?
I was missing the L.
You're
I've
missing-
always thought it was
you're-
Strangehold. I didn't know it was.
I got you in a Strangehold, baby.
I guess.
Okay. We'll have to play that Strangehold.
Sam Metro, good evening, y'all. Sam
What
joining
up?
us from the Claremont area. I believe. Is that
Nice.
where I know he works there? Is that where he lives? Maybe.
I would assume.
I would assume. We'll be seeing him in just a couple weeks. If you remember that
Holy
Great
cow.
American Teach-In was rescheduled for January 10th at his school. So we're going to go do that.
He
Can't
has
wait.
his own school.
Yeah, at the school where he works. Lizzie said tomorrow is her stepdaughter's birthday. Well, happy birthday
to your stepdaughter.
to the step.
Step on to the birthdays.
Paul Marziani's joining us. Welcome. Paul, I think, was on vacation in a cold place.
Yeah.
I don't remember where he went,
I don't know.
but he was not in
They
Florida.
had a lot of things going on.
But I think he's back.
Motorsports Park.
Jim Pollan, yes. Hello from Hobo's Hot Rod Garage, Horseheads, New York. 4 inches of snow today.
Nice.
Yikes.
Chouvelet, no.
Do you remember when we drove in snow for the first time together
Yeah.
in Michigan, our first year at Autorama?
Okay.
We were spinning and sliding.
Another time you were like, oh my God, what are we doing? And then the car calls the cops because I thought we were in an accident.
Yeah, it did. You
Well-
you put the brakes on too fast, and the call was like, calling 911, assistance required. Oh,
These
Steve,
people don't know how to drive.
Steve Heinrichs. Hey, welcome.
Or is
We've
that
got
hi? What's that from?
Fat Albert.
Well, that's hey. That's Fat Albert. What's hi?
I don't know.
Really?
What is it?
Hold on.
No,
What's
you
happening?
don't even know.
What-
Oh, okay.
What's happening? That's Raj.
Silly.
Or it was Raj? No. Oh, I can't remember his name. The other kid.
Was
Anyway,
it
good.
Repo.
Repo. That was rerun.
Rerun.
It
That's
was rerun. Raj. Was it Dwayne?
maybe.
Mm,
I don't
I have to
know.
look it up. I don't have my phone with me.
No, that's too bad. Julie Anderson
Dang
is
it.
joining us as well.
Ride or die.
Wife of Spud over in the Pacific Northwest.
Spoodley and Julie.
We've got so Sam Metro said 25 days and counting for the teach-in at our school. Looking forward to you guys coming out and helping us with the Ocoee Middle School Hot Rod and Hot Rod Art Show. Nice. We're excited.
Are they the Hokoi?
It's Ocoee.
Right.
Akoi.
almost like the F Troop
Akoi.
tribe.
It's some kind of tribe.
Where the heck are we?
I don't remember that.
Where the heck are we?
We've got Mike. What's up, guys? Missed last week. Glad to be back. We
we're
are
glad
happy
you're
to
back,
have
too.
you.
Something fell off last week.
It did. And
That's
it was
what
because
was.
Hicks
That's what
wasn't
it
on.
was.
We've got Dave Holmes
We were
joining
hickless.
us. Got you in a strange hold, baby. I'm gonna crush your face. Sweaty Teddy, the city
Yeah.
madman.
Hey, man.
That's so funny.
Animal.
Well,
dun, dun,
In my defense,
dun,
Dave Holmes
dun,
knows this because he's a
animal.
DJ. So,
Yeah.
oh my
Yeah.
goodness, thanks for joining us,
Another one
Dave.
of ity-b's favorite Van Halen songs, Animal.
That was my sister.
You still were singing it.
Because it's what she taught me to sing.
I remember the first time we were together and that song came on. I'm like, what are you saying? It's Animal. I'm like,
That's okay.
No.
You didn't know it was Bring
What?
Me Down, Bruce.
Yeah, again, what in the realms of knowing songs, yours is a bigger faux pas. Nobody cares whether I know who sang the one.
Who sang what?
The one I messed up.
I don't know.
Exactly. You don't know.
Don't Bring Me Down.
They weren't even that important.
Bruce. You have to do it
It's
like
by
that.
ELO or something like
I
that.
don't
or
know.
Asia.
Maybe.
Erasure.
Who knows? Paul Marzani was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That's right.
PPP.
Yes. Gary Miller said, if your fans want to check us out, notnugent.com. Stop by and say hi.
Not Nugent.
And say, what did I say? Not Nugent. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said.
And
Not
say
Nugent.
Johnny sent ya. Perfect.
Hey, tell him.
Dave Holmes said we were up North Florida in the mud wagons through
Yeah,
Go
man,
Volkswagen
We
show.
saw that. We saw that.
I did see the pictures. Little jealous.
One of these
Little
times,
jealous.
one of these times, we're gonna make it to one of these bug shows.
I know
It always falls on like something
that we have something else to do.
Well, yeah, it always does. Anyway,
Dennis Goff said putting up the aluminum tree while listening tonight.
Nice.
Aluminum tree. Is that what is that?
At least it's not the Illuminati tree.
When he said aluminum tree, I was thinking the
Tinsel.
no, the tree for drag racing.
Yeah.
Isn't that called a tree?
Well, it is called tree.
Wouldn't that be aluminum?
It might be aluminum. Mostly
That's
steel.
what look at me, car girl.
Look
right?
at. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways,
That defines you. know
Dave
the-
Holmes said Motor City Madman. I meant to say Ted Nugent. Yeah.
Yeah, we knew.
And he said it's Elon. 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 Gary said we are going to be playing Daytona Bike Week. We'll let you know when we are in town. You know what? We have a
Ooh.
place to stay during Bike
And
Week.
I've never been to Bike Week.
Yeah, neither have I. I would love to go.
Aged thighs and meat.
It is ELO. He said not Elon.
Yeah.
ELO.
Oh, no.
Okay, so let's
And again,
get back to
So to your problem with trailers.
Trailers.
Trailers for sale
Sailor
or rent. You're afraid when they get up on the ramps. What is it?
I'm afraid when the car gets
Okay.
bent.
So yeah. So what were you afraid of? What do
You
think
getting mad at me,
what do you-
really?
that was
Yeah, because I'm like, if the car slips off, it's first of all, it's going to get. How are you going to lift it? Like, it's going to create this whole big. Like, how do people get out of that? If the tire slips off and the car falls, partly because it's going to now be on one ramp and off one ramp. How do you fix that?
Yeah, exactly.
You would basically have to move the trailer up, let the car fall down,
Boom.
and then start again.
Yup.
And at that point, I'm really out at that
You're-
point. I'm in the house.
I'm so pissed
At
at,
that
you at that point.
I know. Anyway, we wound up doing it, and thankfully, the back tires on Rose are quite a bit thicker than the fronts.
It's the same track.
It isn't. I felt better with the back tires than I did the
Okay.
front tires, but getting it on worse than
Here's-
getting it off.
Here's how it started. I'm like, hey, I need you to go up front and keep an eye on me. Make sure I the tires stay straight.
And I get the premise.
And then immediately ity-b starts grabbing and moving things.
Because I was like, you're going to run over these little tire cover hooks. So I moved it.
The trailer
off.
the U-Haul trailer comes with straps that strap the front tires down, and I laid them aside, like you do. You lay them aside so you can roll over the top of them, that we can pull them from the backside.
I was thinking they were going to get stuck under the
ity-b
tire.
Immediately, and the instructions were, hey, can you just go stand up front and do? I felt like Bill Cosby, which was giving instructions on how to, go make some food. Is cake food? Anyway,
Anyway, I did it.
Crickets.
I did it, and it was successful.
Yeah,
We
you
got-
touched the things, and it was successful.
We got
moved.
on the trailer,
Yeah.
and then you did proceed to show me how the straps go over, how to
straps go
hook them,
Mhm.
which I'm not good with ratchets either. Is it ratchets? What's it called? Is that it?
They're ratchet straps.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not good with the ratchet straps.
Why aren't you good with them?
I don't know if it's I don't have the hand strength. I don't know if it's where I don't know how to put the strap. Like I've tried it on my own before, and when I try to tighten it, it doesn't tighten. So I think I have the strap in the wrong thing, or I'm like putting it backwards. So I watched you, and these ones looked easier because they're
Yeah,
stationary.
They were stationary. Mhm.
So
we ratcheted it down.
I could probably do
we
it.
got the trailer all set, secured everything down, chained it down, the whole 9 yards. Plugged
had
it
to
in.
do front on the axle on the front
Yeah.
tire bar.
Chain over the front axle,
chain
chain
in the
over
back.
the rear axle.
I did not watch you hook up like the wires and the lights and all that kind of stuff. I would assume that was self-explanatory.
And immediately, as we're about 20 minutes in, you go, trailer has lights, right?
Your brake lights
Yeah.
working, right? Well, because you didn't have me test that. Like you weren't in the Jeep.
I didn't need you to. I already knew they worked.
Anywho. So on top of that, then I requested to add another situation, which was
Yes.
we need to bring the dog with
Let's
us.
bring this wild and woolly animal who just is out of control. And
She's so
is
sweet.
not great in public and wants to attack all dogs, all comers.
She's not attacking them. She wants to play.
She's an attacker.
So we did bring the dog. We had a little
She did great.
cover for the back of the
She jumped
back
up
seat,
and then she jumped up in the Jeep.
And it was like a 2.5 hour drive up there because of the traffic.
45 minutes in to do 1.5 miles.
Yeah.
On I-4.
We got stuck in traffic, but we did stop at a rest stop. We got her out. She ran around for a little bit. Like it was, I thought she did really well.
She did good
during the travel.
The drive up. She did great. The stop, the little potty break stop we gave her, she did fine there. Had a guy as we're pulled into my favorite stop on the way to Orlando.
Our truck stop. We stop at.
As my favorite truck stop to stop at. So if you're ever traveling and or I say, hey, I'm heading to Orlando, generally you can guarantee the first place
you can catch us at the Loves.
At the Loves. And so this guy comes popping out of nowhere. Like
we literally just drove up,
pulled the dog out, and immediately this guy pops out of a trash can and is like, hey, what year Model A is that? And where'd you get it? And how much did it cost you? And you want to sell it? The guy offered me money.
Money
right there.
And it was already on a trailer. We could have just given it to him.
Giving nothing away. I just got it.
I know. Yeah, so that was pretty cool. And of course we get, as you're driving, you get the thumbs up and
honks, and you're like,
yep.
Is everything all right?
I know. I'm like,
did the car fall off?
Yeah. So, and you said it was a pretty smooth ride. The Jeep towed it really well.
The Jeep towed it fine. And
a little bit of wind.
And there was heavy wind. There was a little bit of wind. We had a huge crosswind coming across. So we're driving a brick, pulling a brick.
Pretty much.
So there was zero aerodynamics at all. And but she pulled they actually did pretty good, I feel like, in gas mileage.
It wasn't bad.
And then she towed it good, and and we didn't have any trailer troubles swerving or
there or back,
fishtailing or any of that kind of stuff. So that was good. And
we got up there early. So if you're planning on ever going as a spectator, dinner time is fine. The parade starts at 8:30. But if you're going to come with a car, come early, get a good spot. We found a great spot. Like we were far enough away from the bandstand where we could hear the music, but you weren't,
Well, here's the thing that
deafened by it.
That you forgot, and I also forgot, is they don't have a band go on till like 6, almost 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
And the music they're piping through is from just
speakers,
like radio stuff that they're doing. And it's oldies and different things like that.
We were near restrooms, we were near food.
But we were right by restrooms, and we were definitely near the Old Town
where we first came
archway
in.
thing that is
The
where the big
entryway.
jukebox thing that everybody goes and takes pictures near and stuff like that. Kind of gets you into the fair. What do you want to call it? It's not a fair. Where all the rides and stuff are.
Yeah.
On the other side of Old Town, which is pretty cool.
Here's one thing I will tell you.
I really like that place. It's fun.
It was fun. It's a great day to do, to even spend like, we had the dog, but had we not had the dog, we could have left the car and we could have walked around. Shut up. We could have walked around. I mean, we've done it before though, so it wasn't something that was necessarily something I needed to do.
Thanks, Lawrence. Midway, yes.
Yes, Midway.
Yeah.
We got there so early that we found our spot.
Yeah,
and then
it was
cars pulled in next to us. And here's what I will say.
Careful.
Watch who you're parking next to, because when you pull out, you're pulling out in succession order. And what was the car next to us?
It was a Toyota Corolla.
Cool car. Super
70s,
cool.
like a 70. And this is the popular, I will say, I remember there was way more Volkswagens and stuff, but I also heard there was a Volkswagen show on Sunday.
Oh.
So that maybe is why there wasn't as many Volkswagens, because there's usually a lot of Volkswagens.
Yeah, there was a handful.
But there was a lot of 70s, late 70s, early 70s Corollas and Tercels, all hopped up. Toyota Motors. The one that was the one that pulled next to us must have had some sort of like a drag racing motor of a Toyota.
It was one of those.
And the exhaust was just. It was pretty.
It was loud.
Pretty loud. And so,
to the point when we were getting ready to go to the parade.
It wasn't. No offense to them, because it was a nice car and it was really
cool.
well done, and they seemed like okay people, other than sitting in front of our car. And they also, I could see they're getting kind of pissed because we're getting so much attention. Anyway, it was really a raspy,
so loud,
not a really cool droney, V8 or flathead type of sound, something where you're going, ooh, that's really nice. I could listen to that all night.
Yeah.
This was like a lawnmower on steroids. And Rose's, for her little four banger, is which can be a little annoying noise, but
which it was fine until you couldn't hear.
I was trying to listen to see,
the timing and
make sure everything was running right.
Yeah.
I couldn't hear nothing.
Yeah.
And the lady, and it was a lady in front of us, and she kept stalling it every 2 or 3 feet.
Yeah.
So,
but
that was fun.
What was cool, I thought, is there was a couple other Model A's there.
They showed up later.
Yeah.
So it would have been cool to kind of park next to them and kind of pick their brains and stuff. But I had a lot of. It was really cool. Here's the fun part of Old Town if you've never been. And so if you're in the Florida area, or if you ever decide to come and go, hey, I'd like to come do a car destination kind of thing, or it'd be fun to drive your car somewhere, come down to Orlando, Florida, and go to the Kissimmee Old Town Cruise-In on Saturday nights. Or if you've got a classic car or muscle car, they do it on Friday nights. Saturday nights is like I think 63 and older is what they try to do, but it's really Saturday nights like open to everybody. It feels like very much open to everything. They don't even care. But Friday nights specifically is supposed to be muscle cars, 60s, 70s era cars. But again, on Saturday night, everybody's good to go. So if you ever get an opportunity, it is such a fun show. And here's the biggest reason why ity-b and I both love this place is the cruise is cool. So at least you get to cruise your car. That part's fun. There's a lot of people that show up.
Yeah.
And it goes all day long. My most favorite part is you're going to have people from all over the world come and look at your car. So we had, I know at least two specific conversations where it was people that were not from the United States. One folks were from Dubai.
Mm-hmm.
They lived in the UK and they'd been living in Dubai for the last 8 years. They've raised their children there. And the kids were just so excited to see this old car. and I let them get in it,
Mhm.
and it was really sweet kids, very very respectful, but we're just so excited to see the car. And I want to say there were probably 11, 13, 11, 12, 13, somewhere in there.
Probably.
Not teenagers yet, but they weren't little kids, but impressionable age, like cars that are in their future soon.
Mhm.
And so it was really cool, and they were so excited, and they had a bunch of questions. And the wife of the
Oh, she
guys,
was more into it than the guy
she
was.
asking tons of questions.
She was.
So that was cool. Then we had this mom and her son. I watched her come up to the car, and he had to be probably, I'm gonna say 9 or 10.
I think he was younger than that. He was probably like
No,
8.
he was pretty,
maybe 7.
pretty tall. Anyways, big enough to where when she picked him up, I was like, he's too big for you to be picking him up. But he wanted to see inside the car. And so she was picking him up, trying to, kind of let him look inside the car and stuff. They're being very respectful people, weren't trying to touch the car in any way or any of that kind of stuff. And I said, hey, did you want to get in it? And the little boy's eyes went, what?
Boing. Yeah.
And she's like, oh, no. And I was like, no, yeah. And so I opened the door and I was like, get in it. So the little kid got in it, and he was immediately started playing like he was driving.
Right.
And that was fun. And the mom was just like, oh my gosh, looking around for her family. Like, where's everybody at? So
who's documenting this?
To take a picture of him in here. So she's panicking because he's in there and he's smiling and he's having a great time. And she's like, oh my gosh, looking around. I don't know where my husband is or my family. And I was like, well, I tell you what, no problem. I opened the door. I let him out. I said, just go get him and then come back. Well, you can have a picture in there. And they came back. And I want to say, I'm not totally sure, but I believe the family was from South Africa.
Right.
So very, very nice people. And were very, very kind and very respectful. And just we're so excited to be able to sit in the old car and look at the old car and ask questions. And so that was a fun, that was just, and then there were people that couldn't speak any English.
Right.
And we're just smiling and I kind of pointed at what year.
I was doing somewhat Spanish with one of the guys. Yeah. The reason why there's so many. I
almost lost it. I was like, ity-b was singing "Happy Birthday" to him.
I was.
That's how you were translating. Oh, yeah. You were just using words from
Feliz cumpleaños.
You were just
tortilla.
You're just singing "Happy Birthday," but talking to him at "Happy Birthday."
No.
So what year's the car? They said in their language, and she's like, "Happy birthday."
Why do you sound like
"Happy birthday" to you?
Why do you sound Italian?
How do you do it in Spanish?
Feliz cumpleaños.
Feliz cumpleaños.
The reason why there are so many people from out of the country are people are coming into Disney. And usually with Disney, there's like a 4-park pass you can get. So maybe 4 days they're at Disney parks and then they're looking for other stuff to do. So you'll find people in Disney Springs. That's another place they hang out.
Not just from Disney. These people, the first group of people that I had talked to, we were up at Universal.
Oh, okay.
So so everybody, this is the cool thing about Old Town is it's not affiliated with any of the other parks. It's this
side gig,
little town that they've made shops and tattoo parlors and arcades and food and bars and just really is something for everyone type of a place. And it's just it's a cool little hang. And then you go next door to it is the
bumper cars. They got rides,
roller coaster, and the slingshot.
Fun Spot,
Fun Town or something. And they got all the cool, crazy rides that you see on TV and stuff. And people come, and it seems pretty affordable.
Yeah.
And that was another thing. We got to park for free.
Oh, the guy was super cool.
Oh my gosh. We pulled into the normal parking area, and it was like a $10 parking spot near the park or near the Old Town,
which we were willing to pay because it was convenient.
$10 and we got there early enough and there was plenty of spaces, and the guy goes, "No, you doing the cruise?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Oh, come on in. We got you. What are you bringing us tonight?" I'm like, "Oh, it's Model A Ford." "Well, what year?" And he just started asking a bunch of questions and stuff. So that was really cool. He let us park for free.
Yeah.
And then even when we came back in from the show, and he was like, "Oh man, car's cool and great, and hope you had a great time, and just really friendly people. And even the people that parked us were great.
Mm-hmm.
The only people that really gave us trouble was when Coop got out of control and they were gonna kick us out because we had a raging dog.
We set her up next to a spot with a couple trees, so she had like an area of grass that she could, lay in or play in or whatever.
See pictures on Facebook if you're interested.
Really wasn't even grass; it was more like a pine mulch.
It was pine needles.
Yeah,
pine mulch.
Well, because there were no pine trees around. I'm like, where are they getting the pine? There was no pine trees. Those were not pine trees. So they brought it in. It was pine mulch.
All right.
I stand by my
I don't
statement.
think it was pine mulch. I think it was a pine tree.
In any case, I had her hooked to the tree. That way we could kind of be hands free and she could lay, and I didn't have to hold the leash the whole time.
Right.
And we were right near the entrance for the security and for like the garbage people and like the entertainment people. So we had this woman on stilts came out in this peppermint
17-foot woman in stilts, and the dog freaked.
She was like, what am I seeing right now? So she, and she's barking and like kind of trying to jump at, it looks aggressive. We know she's not. She just wants to play, and she's just being skittish.
Such a typical mother trying to
make excuses for my dog.
Excuses for her murdering child.
So we had one of the security guys had come around the corner, and
she barked at him.
And he's like, you got to keep her under control. We can't have this here. Yeah. And so she kind of got put in timeout a bit, but
which I told ity-b, I was like, this is going to happen because your kids.
That was really that,
kids just
and
don't
then
behave.
Any other passing dog, she got a little yippy with.
Yeah.
But
what are the people saying, ity-b?
Yeah, they are saying Riff Driven's joining us from YouTube. Hi all, welcome. Michael Schnell said, I avoid I-4 at all costs. Yeah. You know what, we had planned the route and we weren't going to go that way, but because of all the hills and stuff.
Yeah, because I just wanted to make sure we got there with the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Florida and its mighty mountains.
Yeah, there aren't a bunch, but they're all located on the other route.
I have a feeling the next time we do that, we will be going an alternate route.
Yeah, because it just took us forever. Uncle Larry said Midway. We got that already. James Olchin joining us. Welcome, James. Haven't seen you in a bit. Thanks for tuning in. Uncle Larry said, love the theatrics. Yeah, he's talking about like he wrote that when we were talking about the cars and like the hopped up cars, and yeah, some of them had lights. Some people decorated for the holidays. We did a wreath on the front of Rose for the little parade that we went through. But yeah, I didn't really see any that were popping. It wasn't that type of show, like the theatrics, like the airbags, the cars that jump and do all the fun stuff and wheelies. And
what are you talking about?
He said, I love the theatrics.
Are you talking about lowriders?
Maybe. I don't know.
Cars don't pop.
Well, what's the
hydraulics?
Yeah.
Airbags?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And then he said, you are a true car guy. So from day one, when we used to bring Raquel, the 51 Chevy, because she was considered rat rodish, we used to let the kids in the car. We didn't care if you leaned up against it. We didn't care. Rose is actually the nicest one that we've had as far as paint job or the way it looks. And then even just like the original inside is still in really good condition. Could we be those people that are like, oh, we don't want anybody in it, don't lean up against it? You know what?
It's a car.
We enjoy it. We want other people to enjoy it. And we've always been about let the kids in. The kids were in there. They were beeping the horn. They had the Ooga horn going.
You have to.
For the full experience. And, I understand why people don't want people to touch their cars. And there are some that I probably, as an adult, wouldn't even want to walk next to, because I'm like, what if my purse hits it, and I scratch it?
Yeah.
So I get it. But that's not the kind of car people we are, at least at this point.
No. Well,
I don't know.
At no point. I don't ever foresee a time.
Yeah.
I don't care
how
and this is just my personal, and I get the amount of money and listen, the value of that thing in comparison for us, it's weighs high value.
Right.
But at the same time, it's just a car, and as long as people are respectful and stuff like that, all day long. I don't have a problem with that.
Right.
And every single person that came up was being very super respectful and paying attention, and you know,
And this,
more so than I've seen at some other local stuff where people let their kids just run all over people's cars and stuff like that, which that's not right. You know,
I think this,
you teach them car etiquette.
it all stems back to the story you told when you were a kid about your
Yeah.
neighbor who let you sit in his car. Was it your neighbor?
No, my folks took me to car shows, and
Oh, was it a car show? And those people let you sit in their car? And you were like,
well, it took a while for me to get to sit. Let's be honest. No, I got to go to car shows, and I was taught car show etiquette. You don't drive, you don't get near them. If you look, you lean, pay attention, make sure you're not scratching anything. Da 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 da. And to be honest, as a kid, I wanted so bad to know what it felt like to sit in one.
right.
Just to know what it felt like. You know, in one of those hot rods. That's all I dreamed about. And I guess it's good because the dream kept going to the point to where I could have my own experience in it. But it was one of those things where I was like, you know what, and again, especially as we're trying to grow the hobby, the only way we're going to grow this hobby is we got to get the younger generation
interested, yeah,
and involved in not just, you know, in old stuff, not just the new stuff. And the only way they're going to know what it feels like, the difference between sitting in a, no offense to anybody that owns one, but a brand new 2025 Mustang or a Corvette or a Lamborghini or whatever, there's a different feeling between getting in that car and getting in an old car. You know, it's not the same.
Think about the kids. Think about kids who were born even 10 years ago. So 2014, right? 10 years old, showing up to a car show. When you tell them this is a 1930 car,
right?
Like, just, I mean, for us, it's old. For us, it's old.
But even them, I don't think they can wrap their head around the time frame.
I know.
But
that's what I'm saying. Like, for them to be like, oh, it's not even something from the 2000s, you know?
Right.
Oh, it's 1930, like almost 100 years old. It's crazy.
And it's still on the road.
Still on the road, still running. Yeah. And that was the cool part too, because we had a lot of people come by and visit, and then they they would hang around, they go get a bite to eat. There's restaurants, there's shops, there's little activities. They can go over to the fun spot, go on rides. And then at 8:30, they come back and they'll line the streets of this little town. We go up one way, come back the other way.
And as short as the little cruise is, because man, I remember the first time it felt like it was an hour long. Like it was such a cool.
It was maybe 15 minutes.
Yeah. I don't know if they were just moving them quicker nowadays
or
whatever, but you know, in years past, it seemed like it took longer. But that's one of my favorite parts about Old Town is it's not just the static car you're gonna see. So you get to see it sitting there with its hood up and then showing the engine and all that stuff. Cool. But now 8:30 comes and the lights go down everywhere else except for the cruise spot. And it's dark and stuff. And that's the fun part because it's dark and everybody's got their lights and different things going. And you get to see the cars run and drive,
you get to hear them
running and driving and moving.
Some you hear more than others.
Some of them you do hear more. Some of them stall. Some of them are overheating. You know, you're really getting the full car experience.
But we got to see the people who came and looked at the car, the people who sat in the car, and now they're out watching it move. And they're like, oh, yes. And they're high-fiving us and, you know, waving at us. And then I do my whole little princess wave out the window.
And of course, Coop at that point was no longer the
change of the tree,
the hideous monster of the Midway. She had become the belle of the ball because people were like, oh my God, look at the dog.
There's a dog in that car. Yeah, it was cute. And she did great during the cruise. There was one dog she saw outside and started barking because she wanted to get out the window.
And luckily we had the windows up.
Yeah. Other than that,
what else is people saying?
Rob Earl said Raquel the 51 Chevy, great name for a car movie. Here's the best part of that, Rob. The name Raquel is spelled Rockell, not the way you have it spelled in your
It's rock
quote.
hell.
Yeah, rocking hell. Matt Williams joining us. Hey guys, my 2019 Challenger looks good when I go to shows, but it's not like when I had my 67 Firebird. That's why I can't wait to get my 72 F100 back on the road. So you get it. I mean, that Challenger, I'm
And
sure,
again,
awesome car.
no offense to your 2019 Challenger, because that's a sweet car.
Yes.
Listen,
You would
love
wanted
to have
one.
Yeah, love to have one. But again, for the experience, I'm sure, like you would say, if you got to sit in a 70s Challenger, you would go, oh, this is different.
It's different.
It just feels different. And I mean, that's the cool thing that a lot of the retro builds have done, is they've given some of the old car feel and looks, but there's still just something about that crappy plastics and all the different smells of an old car. It's the best. It's the best.
James Wilson said, lucky enough to come across a 61 Ford Anglia.
Oh, nice.
Like Harry Potter. Kids have the biggest smiles whenever they sit in it.
Yeah,
yes, that's what it's all about.
Sure.
Rob Earl said, that's even better. It's an R-rated movie.
Yes. Horror movie. Never mind.
James Olchin said,
It's
Rose is such a
movie.
great piece of nostalgia for you kids to drive around. It really has been fun.
I'm so grateful for having that car, and again, just the aspirations and dreams I have of what I envision it being.
Yeah.
Eventually, and but just it was cool. Here's what was really neat too. So these guys come up, 3 guys, gentlemen, and they're probably in their 70s, mid 70s, probably. And they were like, oh, wow, this is really cool. They're Model A. I'm like, yeah. They go, boy. They're looking at me like, look at this young kid keeping it going. Because that's what they said. Hey, it's great to see you young kids keeping this going.
Young kids.
How's it do? And I'm like, oh, it's running. I got it pretty sorted out and stuff. And they're like, oh, so it's all original? I'm like, pretty much. And I started showing them everything. The only real upgrades I had made, of new parts is the headlights, bulbs, the alternator is a modern alternator, so modern charging,
couple things, yeah.
Charging system, and what else? That's really
everything's pretty well
that's
original.
it. Everything else is 30s era. Maybe the switch is newer,
yeah,
and the button for the horn.
Mm-hmm.
But everything else is the same. It's still, and there's good to that and there's the bad to that. But it's still fun. And they're like, oh, so when are you gonna put a bigger motor and engine? And I said I had every intention when I bought the car of hot rodding it. That was the intention. Chop it, drop it, put a V8 in there, whatever that was going to be. And I said, but it's been just so much fun going super slow.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just enjoying the car. The experience is just driving the car, the sounds and the noises and all the different nuances of driving it the way it is. I'm enjoying it so much that as much as there's been a few days where I'm like, oh, it'd be so cool to mash the pedal down and be able to do burnouts. And, I see other hot rods and stuff and I go, God, that'd be so cool to be with the hot rod guys. But then I get in it and I back it out and I listen to it, little chug along. And I'm just cruising down, and all it takes is before I know it, I look myself in the rearview mirror, and there's this giant, I can feel it, this giant smile on my face
every time.
And I don't care how fast I'm going.
We literally took it
care.
a mile from home. We could have walked up to Publix yesterday to get our dinner, but he's like, let's hop in the old car.
Come on, let's take the old car. So
much fun. What was I going to say? James Olchin said, but Kona 5 rocks. And she does. Oh my gosh. We have so much fun driving in her too. Can't bring the dog in that one though. At all.
Yeah, that's the tough part. We'd like to get Kona up there because she hasn't been out to that
in truck form
since her transformation into the pickup truck. And
but we would trailer that up. We just wouldn't be able to do the parade part. We'd have to leave her out of.
You're talking about the dog?
Yeah.
Or we just leave the dog home.
It's a long day.
It's fine.
Larry McCullum said second Saturday every month at WAAAM, Hood River, Oregon, as part of our monthly festivities, we pull a half a dozen cars out of our collection for rides, autos from the teens to the 50s. Nice. That sounds like a fun thing. I really want to visit that Oregon area.
And hey, we love all people.
Yes, we do. We get young families and older nostalgic folks living it.
Yeah, it's so much fun, and again, that was the funnest part. And again, it's what I love about Old Town, because that was the best experience we had with Raquel was, there was a day where I think we met people from China and Japan,
all over.
And then there was some people from the UK, and then there was people from, there was some people from Germany that came by too, to talk about the Model A. So that was, that's the funnest part. And then just local people too, like you said, there was some folks that couldn't necessarily speak great English, and
we had a guy come up and say, "I found you."
Oh yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, you found us?" I said, because I thought, well, maybe he saw our post on Facebook.
Yeah.
Well, it was his buddy who lives up north, saw the post on Facebook and said, "Dude, I know you go to Old Town every weekend. Go find these people."
Right.
And he never did tell us who it was.
He didn't give me his name, but he said it was somebody
but we
who
did
follows
take a
us.
picture. Yeah,
So.
we did take a picture of it. So that was pretty cool. So we did have somebody, and I did give a shout out to let you all know, because last Monday,
and that guy did come back and he goes, I didn't realize I was talking to somebody who'd been on TV. And I'm like, yeah, it's not a big deal.
So the 28 Model A that parked across from us.
Yeah.
This one, now we just had the car parked. Like, we didn't open the hood. There was nothing really to show. Okay.
I would love to, before you move on, because there's a subject I'd love to hear your opinion about.
Okay.
What is your guys' opinion of the hood up, hood down thing? So I'll give you Johnny's opinion, and then I want to hear your opinion.
Yeah.
I'm a hood down. I personally want to see the car, and I get guys that are motor guys. Like, hey, I put a lot of time and energy into building this motor, and it's fast, and it's got this intake, and all that stuff. So I guess I get, if I had all that stuff, that maybe I'd want to show it off. So maybe that I'm answering my own question.
It depends on why you're there.
I'm a hood down, because I want to see the car as it's in the lines. I want to look at the shapes in the car and the way it looks, and maybe the modifications that you've made and all those kinds of things. Sometimes I feel like the hood up kind of just breaks that all up, and I can't really enjoy what the car looks like with the hood up.
Yeah.
So what's your opinion? What's your opinion?
I
ity-b.
I agree. I think it depends. If we had done some engine modification, and some of these guys have like their engine stuff color coordinated and painted. They put a lot of time and effort into it, and probably have spent a crap load of money getting it to where it needs to be. Of course, they're going to do hood up, and I totally get that. But my feeling, like, for our vehicles, hood down. There were a few people though that you did lift it up and say, "Look, it's all got the original stuff."
That's just it. If they were to ask questions about the motor,
then you do.
I did show.
Yeah. Sam said, "Hood down, lift it to show off your mill, then put it down." Rob Earl said, "Yep, hood down every time you see the entire car." So
yeah,
I think
I really want to see.
Feeling's the same.
I want to see the entire, now a car that has the engine exposed where there's no hood.
No, well, can't get around that.
That's all part of it.
Can't get around.
But that's part of the look of it. So I get it. Then I'm looking at the engine itself. So so that guy, that 28, gorgeous car, and
very similar looking to ours.
A little darker blue than ours, but it was chopped. Had a mild chop on it, and some nice choices in some respects. And so I went and took a closer look at it, and it was running on a modern chassis, so like Mustang 2 front end and stuff like that. So it was independent rear suspension, and I think it was a Mustang 2 front end on it. So lowering.
Was the interior original, or was that
no?
redone?
That was all. That was all.
So rebuilt, basically.
Kind of overdone a little bit.
Okay, I didn't go over and look at it.
And that was another thing too in that car that I was, it had these giant bucket seats in it, and there's all this, it's a sedan, so there's the whole back end, and it was all impaired. You couldn't see it, so it wasn't. Again, personal choices. I probably wouldn't do big giant buckets like that. I would have sat and said, the original height of the seats themselves
allow you to look into the back
to really
and
see the whole interior
Yeah.
parts of it, because it's a sedan. If it was a coupe, I could get it, maybe some high bucket seats or whatever, but these were big.
Chris Malinsky joining us. What's up, kids, from Detroit? 52 degrees here today. So a warm one in Detroit. I don't know if you saw Chris tagged you in. Bob Frizz had a Detroit Lions holiday party
Oh, nice.
over at the garage, and Chris took a picture of your Johnny Jalopy signature on the garage door.
Oh, cool.
And tagged you
Very
in
cool.
it. So,
I did not see that.
Yeah, my response to the post was, yeah, we miss all the fun stuff.
We miss our Detroit family.
I know. I can't wait to get back up there. Richard Hahn said, open it up. I like to see what you got. And I agree. I think there's a time for that. And again, depending on why you're there, if we spent all the money on it and did a whole bunch of stuff under the hood, we definitely want to show it off.
Well, like there was this, it was a stock, and again, maybe that's the reason. It was like the stock F-150, and they had, LS motored it, and the hood was up.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. But I was like, I want it would have been cool to go, oh. And then when I saw you cruise down the streets, I'd have been like, oh, that's definitely not factory.
Right.
You know what I mean? So there's some cool parts to not showing off what you have, making them think. Because I bet you there's plenty of people that are waiting to hear me get in mine, and they go, oh. You know what I mean? They're like, is that chitty chitty bang bang starting up? You know what I mean? So I get it. I guess I get both sides, but again, if it was like a blower hanging out coming through the hood, yeah, open the hood up, because obviously you got some stuff under the hood. You want to show
some
that
stuff
off.
to show.
But there is that the beauty of what a car looks like, even with the engine popping out of the hood and the hood down, being able to see it in its full glory, and seeing all the lines and all the beautiness of it all put together. And then my favorite part again is getting to see it in motion.
Right.
That's the best part. And that's what I really enjoy about Old Town.
James Olchin said, I need to say Merry Christmas to all. God's blessings. Same to you, sir.
Happy holidays to everyone. Merry Christmas.
We've got Shaggy LeBlanc joining us. He said,
Shaggy LeBlanc.
I made it. I'm late, but I made it. I got a lot on my mind. We know you do. Going tomorrow for the big what.
Hey.
After the broadcast tonight, we're going to give you a quick call, Shag.
Yes.
Michael Allen said, what are we drawing tonight? We are not drawing. This is
Flies.
Sketchy Live, the podcast, and we are about ready to wrap it up here.
We're drawing flies.
This has been a recoup of our Saturday.
Recoup?
Recap?
Recap.
Recap.
We're also recouping.
We are. A recap of our Saturday at Old Town. Super fun place to visit.
Yes.
A really fun little
Old Town,
show.
Kissimmee, Florida. So it's right off the I-4, right between Disney and Orlando.
Yeah.
It's a great little. I mean, listen, as it gets late at night, the freaks come out at night, and there's stuff going on. Like as soon as we were heading to get on the freeway to go home, there was 80 cop cars heading back towards the other way.
Where we came from.
We were like, I guess we left at the right time. Yeah, so it gets a little down and dirty down there, but a fun spot.
It is.
And again, no matter what time of the year you go, even in sweltering hot summertime, they still run that cruise. In fact, I believe they're celebrating their 50th year.
Crazy.
Of the Old Town cruise happening. So they've been doing it for a long, long time, and up and down the brick streets. That's the cool part. It's all brick streets. They got music playing. Wolfman Jack comes on. Welcome to the Saturday Night Cruise. And it's just such a fun time. And the people that run it seem to be very, very cool and very involved and good.
And it's free.
And it is free. It's free to do. So think about that. In afterwards, they do a little drawing. They give some door prizes away and stuff like that.
We won free ice cream sundae.
They do have a cruising news that picks every month. If you're a normal cruiser, you can get your car can be featured in this magazine, and then they have special parking spots for Cruiser of the Month and then Cruiser of the Year that they pick.
The parade leaders,
all that kind of stuff. So that's really, really neat. They really go all out to make car people feel cool, and it's there wasn't a lot of rules other than the main rules of
keep your dog's mouth shut. That's it.
Of the cruise itself, which is no burnouts and
no excessive horn blowing,
crazy revving of your motor, and all that kind of stuff.
Loud music,
the whole idea, or loud booming music. But the whole idea is that so that people can line these streets, and trust me, the streets are full. People, you can see people getting their space at like 2:00 in the afternoon. They already got their lawn chair, and they're sitting near the brick streets in front of the store, and they're just waiting.
Yeah.
And there's lots of seating, even if you don't bring a seat.
Yeah.
But it's fun.
It's fun. So that's a bit about what we did this past weekend. I venture to say we will probably do a Sketchy Live next Monday.
It's not the holiday yet.
Yep. So we should be seeing you before Christmas. So
we're gonna do another Christmas sketch. We're gonna do another Christmas sketch. Probably gonna be just right out of my head.
Yep. And
you can a little Christmas sketch.
Still time to head over to JohnnyJalopy.com and put an order in. We have everything but hats. We are out of the hats.
This would be the week if you're gonna do anything, so we can get it.
Can't guarantee delivery.
And the way the post office is, we were hoping that it would get to you before the holiday.
Yeah.
But if you were gonna do it, now's the time.
Do it. And we are coming up on celebrating 8 years, guys, come February of 2025.
And we are so excited about 2025. We've got new things on the horizon, big things coming. Johnny Jalopy is going to pull his head out of his rear end, and we are going to be getting some new stuff going. We plan to bust out the airbrush this year and really start doing some old school, down and dirty, getting some cool custom culture art done and out in a boot.
So as always, we appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for your tuning in, your viewership, your likes, your loves, your shares.
We appreciate your tunage. Thanks for being great tuners. And as always, please head on over to that JohnnyJalopy.com. Beep boop. It's where you can get your cool merch. Let me point at it like you're supposed to. It's over there. Where's it at? It's right there. Over there. This right there. Little David Spade. JohnnyJalopy.com. We've got everything but hats. We got stickers, t-shirts, fun stuff, lots of cool things. Head on over there. And again, please like and subscribe, make a comment. We'd love for you to hear the interaction. And then again, the best part of Sketchy Live, the drawing show or the podcast, is your interaction. So we really appreciate those that have just posted and said and kept things going. And we can't wait to see you next Monday.
Love you guys.
Have a great week. God bless all of you. We will see you again soon. And of course, as always,
stay sketchy.
Peace out.